Hey, Eric.
And we're moving. Hey, John.
Uh, how are you tonight?
I'm good. It
You
was
good?
it was it was a better day than I expected. So, bonus points. Got to go out to lunch.
Well,
Uh,
I'm
you
glad.
know, hang out with some amigos for lunch. That was always fun. And you know,
I concur. I concur.
and that's pretty much it. Uh,
Well, I have returned, um,
Fantastic.
and I think I am adapted back to the to the timeline to the time zone.
You're
Um,
back on the right time zone.
I am back on the same time zone as the family. That is. I don't know. Is there a right time zone? But
Yes, there is a right time
yeah.
zone.
Well, so my I will tell you, my weekend was basically catching up on the stuff that needed to have happened probably before I left, but that I didn't in some cases want to break before I left, just in case something went wrong. Um, so
Um, a little bit wetter than it was before you left, I
it,
think.
it it is quite a bit. Yes, winter has arrived, which in our area means the rains.
Yep.
But I think I mentioned that my shower was not working, and I had gotten the part, but
Yes.
I did not want to fix it like the day before I went on a 2 week trip,
Right.
just in case something went wrong.
Right.
So I waited until I got back, and
And
something went wrong. Um, I got it like,
not your first rodeo.
yeah, I got it like 80% out, and then I could there's like this plastic sheath that was totally stuck in the valve holder, whatever, the
Okay.
in the cylinder. I could not get it out for the life of me. And I just knew I was going to break something. I'm like pulling it with pliers, and the pipes are kind of bending in the wall. I'm like, I don't want to break anything. So I called a plumber.
Mm.
And
Okay.
well, I called three plumbers. The third one answered. The and he was not very far away, and he came in like an hour. So,
Oh, nice.
because I mean the water's off for the house, right? And there's no
Right.
like water just for the shower. It's
Right.
you get and once you have destroyed the valve as you take it out, like your options for recovering part of the water in the house are limited. So,
Mm-hmm.
anyway, which was my fear. So he comes, and I'm not sure whether to be happy or sad that he couldn't get it out either. At least for, I mean,
Okay.
he started going destructo on it, like taking out the plastic in pieces. And in my head, I'm
Uh,
just like, oh man, you're gonna get to the back, and then you're gonna have a really hard time trying to get out the back pieces. But okay. But I remembered what I don't know why if I had thought about this before, I might have been able to do it myself, and I would have saved myself $300. But um, my grandfather was a mechanic, and
uh-huh.
he always used heat for metal. Get the metal hot, it'll expand a little bit, and stuff will come out.
Right.
I had a heat gun out in the shop. I brought the
Mm.
heat gun in, and the plumber used the heat gun to heat up the thing, and then he was able to get it out. And I was like, well, yet another lesson on
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I can't remember those things when I'm kind of in the thick of the what am I going to do to fix this? But the shower is not leaking,
Yep.
and he sanded the thing and put some silicone grease kind of stuff on the connectors and stuff that I wouldn't have known to do or wouldn't have done. So I
Okay.
don't know. So I'm hoping that it's even better, but it works. So that's
Okay.
awesome.
Water exists in your
Water,
house. That's a good thing.
water, check. Second thing was my one of our porch lights was flashing, flashy, flashy, flashy. I don't know why.
Okay.
And porch lights these days, even like a couple years ago, or I don't know, whenever I put these in, they're just LEDs. They're not
Right.
replaceable lights.
Correct.
So, and I don't. Again frustrated. I threw away my third $1.99 soldering iron from Harbor Freight and went down to Lowe's and bought a $40 soldering iron
Mm.
and soldered on a new a new little LED diode thing from
Right.
Amazon for like 5 for $8, and so
Right.
the front light works again, so that's good. Um, and then I fixed the chicken coop, so the chicken coop is now officially ready for chickens to move in. Um,
I've seen the picture. It's a luxury coop.
I did a
That
little
you'll have
ramp
some happy
outside.
chickens.
I did a little ramp outside. I did a little nesting bar up on top with a little tray underneath for, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, they're gonna poop on that. That's where they do their duty most of the time.
Right.
And evidently that will let my wife collect it or clean the chicken coop better. So that's good. And yeah, so they're not moved in yet, but probably this weekend. Um,
All
but I
right.
spent all day Sunday doing that. Like, but anyway, but so the honeydew list, or the list of projects, got winnowed down considerably. That
Oh,
was that was
nice.
that was my weekend. But yeah,
Well, you know Indiana Jones. You remember a long time Indiana Jones? He had snakes. Why did it have to be
why did it have to be
snakes? I hate
snakes?
snakes. My weekend project was painting. Why did it have to be
I thought you were
painting?
gonna outsource.
I hate painting. I I thought I was going to outsource as well, and I just have not yet. So
Well,
I'm halfway done with one room.
I probably spent as much on my plumber and locksmith. That didn't help me as much as I I would have hoped, as you might have spent on painting. But anyway,
Yeah, I'm.
anyway, I don't like painting either.
Anyways, of all the yeah,
So I'm sorry. So did you get the 2 coats of primer up to cover the blue?
yep. The primer is now up, so the room is halfway done, and now I just need to go finalize the color that we're gonna paint the room. But we just can't go grab a color and go with it. We have to go get color samples and put different samples up on the wall, and then let them dry, and then look at those.
Mm.
That's a requirement first. So it's gonna be a while.
Uh, okay, okay.
Did I mention my how much I like painting? Um,
I like the snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
yeah,
I really don't like painting either.
yeah.
Um,
The other thing I did over the weekend, so blue sky. This is kind
blue
of almost
sky.
a topic. This kind of we can start migrating towards actual topics. Blue sky
Okay.
is a Twitter/X replacement. So, you and I, we left Twitter a long time ago. It just kind of was no longer fun. Anyways, and Blue Sky apparently has been kind of chugging along since 2019 as a potential Twitter replacement. It has some elements of Mastodon. Mastodon, we tried that for a while, I know, and
Yeah.
didn't really take. Who knows if Blue Sky will take? But the nice thing about Blue Sky is it has some pretty good APIs to do posting and automate posting and build, cool
Okay.
little gadgets. So I also spent the weekend basically building basically creating a Blue Sky mostly security user. An interesting thing with Blue Sky is, Twitter had the verified by Twitter blue checks, which went through, I don't
Sure.
know, some process. With Blue Sky, if you own the domain, you can have a domain be your handle in Blue Sky.
Okay.
And so if you want to check out and go follow with the 73 other folks who stumbled across mostly security since it's been up for a week and follow,
Cool.
you can go to the Blue Sky app, mostlysecurity.com profile. And one of the cool things is because you can automate and do stuff, I built a tool that takes our podcast MP3, extracts all the metadata, and creates individual posts for each of the chapters if they have URLs. And so you can go see last week's post if you go check out so each of the individual articles with whatever we named the article, the chapter title, and the link to it.
Very cool.
It's kind of cool. So who knows? We'll see how long Blue Sky lasts, if it's a fad or if it actually does end up replacing Twitter. I know at some point somebody needs to make money somewhere on Blue Sky.
Yeah.
So,
Huh. Well,
we'll see.
I did not complete creating my account. I started, and of course, my first two usernames were taken. So I think that's how far I got.
Well, that was the thing with mine. Well, my last name's unique enough that no one has mine. No one had mine. But I also own ericwheeler.com. So my Blue Sky handle is ericwheeler.com, which, no one else can take. So
Is that the first use of my johnking.com
you
that I
could.
have had for forever?
It's super simple to
It
do.
is not actually hosted anywhere because I am lazy.
It's super easy to do. So,
Interesting. Okay.
anyways,
Okay.
we'll see.
Very cool. Very
We'll
cool.
see how
Okay.
it goes.
I did throw one thing into follow up here because there was an arrest in Canada of
Ooh.
one of the two people responsible for the Snowflake hacks or breaches earlier this year.
And which
So,
ones were those again?
Ticketmaster. There was
Yeah, yeah,
more than
yeah.
a
That's
hundred,
right.
but Ticketmaster was the one that got kind of a lot of the limelight, so to speak. But
Got it.
evidently, there was a guy in Canada and a U.S. citizen in Turkey who evidently we don't have an extradition treaty with Turkey, but
Okay.
the is a 25-year-old man in Ontario, I want to say. Yeah, of Kitchener, Ontario, on a provisional arrest warrant from the United States. Bloomberg first reported Muka's, that's his name, alleged ties to the Snowflake hacks on Monday. Let's see. So, just to remind you, at the end of 2023, malicious hackers learned that many large companies had uploaded huge volumes of sensitive customer data to Snowflake accounts that were protected with little more than a username and password. No
Hmm.
multi-factor authentication required. After scouring darknet markets for stolen Snowflake account credentials, the hackers began raiding the data storage repositories used by some of the world's largest corporations, including AT&T. It says Wired.com reported in July that AT&T paid a hacker $370,000 to delete stolen phone records.
Oof.
Anyway, whole bunch of stuff there. It did say, so it said Mandiant had attributed the Snowflake compromise to a group it called UNC 5537 with members based in North America and Turkey. There you go. Sources close to the investigation tell Krebs on security, this is a Krebs link we'll put in here,
Mhm.
that the member in Turkey is John Aaron Binns, an elusive American man indicted by the U.S. Department of Justice for a 2021 breach at T-Mobile that exposed the personal information of at least 76 million customers. But
Hmm.
Canada does have an extradition treaty. So
Oh,
there you go.
okay.
Ontario is not too far north, evidently.
Most of Canada isn't very far north of the U.S. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Um,
What's your
so
topic?
I have a couple topics. One of them I just saw was interesting. So was it last year Apple introduced this hide my email feature? I don't know if
It
you've
feels like
tried
it's
it
been
or
a
used it.
couple
Was it a
years.
couple years?
I've used it for a couple of throwaway things.
Yeah, so you can use your personal email address if you have a Apple account to like make throwaway ones, email addresses,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Well, apparently Google has come up with something similar called shielded email, and Android, what is it? Android Authority, a popular Android blog, basically found it in
Mm.
one of the newer Google Play services that hasn't been released yet. They found a whole boatload of strings referencing and support of something called shielded email, to create single use or limited email aliases to forward along to your primary account. So great. So Google is basically playing catch up on some level
But they haven't actually
with
released
Apple.
it yet. It was
But
found
it's
by
not
running
released yet.
strings.
Yeah,
running.
essentially. Yeah.
Okay.
So I look forward to see what happens there. if that happens.
Oh, so I'm sorry. Was that's likely to be an Android feature, is what you're saying?
Yep, an Android feature for now, but I don't think it's too hard to make the leap to Google services in general. Just maybe first coming out through Android. And then second article, phishing emails using SVG attachments.
Okay.
And SVGs are essentially images, right? Being able to show graphics in some form or another in HTML. But the curious thing about how this phishing campaigns work is SVG attachments can not only just do graphics, but can also be used to display straight up HTML. And you know what you
Oh.
can do inside HTML? Execute JavaScript.
So you have a container. So you're
Uh-huh.
displaying an image on a
Mm-hmm.
canvas in a browser, and the image can display HTML. It's kind of like
Which
Inception,
can
so
load
which can load its own
JavaScript.
JavaScript.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so some of the images in the article are like in an SVG attachment that displays a fake Excel spreadsheet. So it looks like the image looks like Microsoft Excel. And the other thing about nice thing about SVG is, well, the S in SVG is scalable. So it moves around with your screen. It's not like in a fixed spot. So anyways, um, that has a built-in login form that when submitted sends the data to threat actors.
Of
So
course
your
it
Excel
does.
spreadsheet launches your fake Excel spreadsheet. Anyways, so I just thought that was kind of cool. Keep an eye out for SVG attachments. I think SVG attachments are not common for legitimate emails. It says so in the article. So, and I concur. I don't,
Yeah.
you get attachments with PDFs or other things. So, just something else to keep an eye out. If you get a attachment that is an SVG, don't open it. It's
I think
probably not a good thing.
that's a good plan. That's a good plan.
All right. There you go. That's what I had for today.
Okay. I did too. Mine, one, I'll call it 1.5 again.
Okay.
So the half one is Apple, I think just today, released security updates for two vulnerabilities that are being exploited in the wild for iOS, iPadOS, macOS, visionOS, and Safari. I don't think
Okay.
of visionOS, but okay. Got to have an OS for all the things. So they are in JavaScript core and cookie management in WebKit. So both your favorite types of vulnerabilities.
Mm-hmm.
With a CVSS score of 8.8, though, that's pretty severe. And they're known to be actively exploited. Although the Apple comment was on quote, may have been actively exploited on Intel-based Mac systems. So,
Of course, they're going to distinguish,
of course, yeah. So
you know.
they're really good about like, here, let me just throw this little dagger just a little bit in the hamstring, or like, just in case.
Don't look under the table.
Yeah, and really, so
Yeah.
um, so anyway, if you got a notice earlier today that said, hey, software to be updated tonight. In fact, I'm looking at a little notification up in my upper right-hand corner saying
Mm-hmm.
15.1.1 is available and will be installed later tonight. So there you go. Active exploitation. So go ahead and update all your things. Um, okay.
Mm-hmm.
The other article I pulled out, call it the breach of the week, is fintech giant. So I was actually out at Krebs because I was looking at that other thing, and
Yep.
I was like, "What else you got out here?" And so this is financial technology firm Finastra is investigating the alleged large-scale theft of information from its internal file transfer platform.
Okay.
So no big deal because Finastra only provides software and services to 45 of the world's top 50 banks. No big deal there. So it notified customers of the security incident after a cybercriminal began selling more than 400 gigabytes of data purportedly stolen from the company. So they have not said what the data is. other than that it is from a file sharing platform, and that they have disabled that and are using an alternative so that no customer services are impacted. But
Okay.
but they haven't said what the data is, or and it made it sound as if they're still trying to figure out what the data is, because their stuff said that on November 8th, Finastra notified financial institution customers that on November 7th, its security team detected suspicious activity, and that someone had begun selling large volumes of files allegedly stolen from its systems. But, oh yeah, so here's their quote. It says, "There is no direct impact on customer operations, our customer systems, or Finastra's ability to serve our customers currently. We've implemented an alternative secure file sharing platform to ensure continuity, and investigations are ongoing." But let's see. Yeah, it says a major part of Finastra's day-to-day business involves processing large volumes of digital files containing instructions for wire and bank transfers on behalf of its clients. I'd have to think that there's a lot of sensitive data in the wire instructions, if that's what the types of files that are out there. But we'll see. So, okay, there you go. That's one side of the story.
Okay.
The other side of the story, remember November 7th, the other side of the story is an October sales thread included a starting price for the Finastra data of $20,000. By November 3rd, that price had been reduced to $10,000.
Okay.
Here's the quote from Krebs, "The apparent timeline of this breach suggests Abyss Zero," that's the user posting the data, "gained access to Finastra's file sharing system at least a week before the company says it first detected suspicious activity, and that the November 7th activity cited by Finastra may have been the intruder returning to exfiltrate more data." So, may have gotten greedy, gone back for some more.
Yeah.
But at least according to the posts out on the dark web, your timeline may be suspect. So,
okay.
Okay.
All right.
So there you go. There you go.
Okay.
Good luck,
Yeah.
Finastra.
All right. Something fun?
Hit me with something fun.
All right. This I just found entertaining.
Okay.
Rats driving cars. So,
wait. What's that? Something in the motorcycle?
The mouse in the motorcycle?
Mouse in the motorcycle? Yeah. Maybe that was the deal. An old kid's book.
Yeah.
And of course the Rats of Nim, but
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, rats driving cars.
So I want to say I saw something along these lines because there was a Netflix documentary called The Secret Life of Pets, and it had pets doing things that you wouldn't expect. Anyways, something along these lines. Anyways, this is a neuroscientist who taught rats how to drive and discovered that they had similar behaviors like dogs, and that he translated as joy. So anyways.
Okay.
So they first crafted their rodent cars from like a plastic cereal container, trial and error. They found that the rats could learn to drive forward by grasping a small wire that acted like a gas pedal. And before long, they were steering with surprising precision to reach a Froot Loop treat. So,
okay,
they figured out how to get rats to do this, and it's kind of fascinating. So this is something that they were doing way back in 2020. So it's old research that they've been continuing to work on, and the article is really long. I won't go into all of it. It was just one of the things that I thought was funny, and there's several different YouTube videos linked into the article showing rats getting there. But this was a couple of paragraphs that caught my eye that I thought was just had the entertainment value for me. Was this is the neuroscientist talking here, is the rats also taught me something profound one morning during the pandemic. So this is in the summer of 2020, a period marked by emotional isolation for almost everyone on the planet, even laboratory rats. When I walked into the lab, I noticed something unusual. The 3 driving trained rats eagerly ran to the side of the cage, jumping up like my dog does when asking if he wants to take a walk. Now, had the rats always done this and I had just not noticed? Were they just eager for a Fruit Loop, or the anticipating the drive itself? Whatever the case, it appeared to be feeling something positive, perhaps excitement and anticipation. Behaviors associated with positive experiences are associated with joy in humans, but what about rats? Was I seeing something akin to joy in a rat? Maybe so, considering the neuroscience research is increasingly suggesting that joy and positive emotions play a critical role in the health of both humans and non human animals. So there's lots of other stuff in the article. Great fun, just fun little videos, great anecdotes about, teaching rats to drive. And the videos are hilarious. These rats hop in and,
Just
start
take off.
driving the car before it even, it's fun to watch.
Okay,
It's fun to watch.
I'll have to check it out.
So,
We had a rat for a pet for a couple of years. I don't know if I've said that when
I don't recall that.
when my wife and I were our last 2 years of college or a year of college plus a little bit, maybe in grad school. I'm trying to remember. Their name was Mordecai, and they were awesome. They were like the rat was awesome. We'd
Nice.
take it out and run all over us, and it'd go in my wife's she had a sweatshirt kind of their that had the pocket in the front that goes all the way through for the hand warmer thing.
Right.
That was its favorite place. Favorite place, little nest down in there. But yeah, Mordecai was awesome.
Nice.
I could totally see that. All right, I'll have to watch those videos and maybe share that with my wife too.
All right.
That's cool. That's cool. Okay, my something fun is actually something that my wife sent me this week, which was a new species of mining bee discovered in Oklahoma and Texas. And evidently it's not common that a new subspecies is found in the wild. There was a comment in here, I don't think I pulled it out, that it's often done by doing lab analysis of samples that have been collected by the field. And so like in museums, they'll be like, hey, wait, this one's different. But this is it says it is a newly discovered, so it's a species of mining bee.
What's a mining bee relative to?
Well, it sure
other
looks like a mason bee.
Okay.
Let's see what Google AI says.
Hmm.
Mining and mason bees are both solitary bees with different nesting and foraging behaviors. Mining bees dig underground tunnels in loose soil, often in lawns, paths, and south-facing banks. Mason bees prefer to nest in hollow plant stems. So.
Okay. So it's the wasp versus hornet.
Yeah,
versus
maybe
yellow jacket
something like that.
kind
Yeah,
of thing.
live in the ground versus live in a tree.
Mhm.
But new mining bee, solitary bee. Let's see. It is they named it Andrena androphobia. I don't know why. Okay.
Okay.
But it says that there are over 1,500 species of Andrena bees in the world, making it one of the largest genera of animals on the planet. But this newly discovered species does not fit into the existing 104 subgenera of Andrena, so it's not closely related to any Andrena bees discovered thus far, and makes this a significant discovery. Creating new bee genus or bee subgenus is rare in recent decades, and that the co-author John Neff collected this bee in Texas for several years before confirming its unique position in the Andrena genealogy. And when they were talking, Hung and Neff spoke with Bossert, a molecular systematist who uses DNA to reveal the deep branches of the evolutionary history of bees. The three quickly realized they were talking about the same bee in Texas and Oklahoma, and knew they discovered something special. So there was all sorts of pictures and stuff. I was trying to think if there was a video. It said that he collected videos, but there isn't video on the link that is up here. But there's pictures of the bee on the Oklahoma University page that I'll link here. But there you go. Kind of exciting.
Cool.
Another species of bee. Didn't say in there whether it's endangered or anything like that. I guess they didn't
let's
know.
hear it for the bee.
There you go.
All right. As always, great chat.
Yeah. Happy Wednesday.
And we'll chat next week, maybe a little early next week, because here in the U.S. it's Thanksgiving week.
That's
So,
that's right.
alrighty,
All right.
have
Thanks,
a good
Eric.
night, John.
I'll talk to you
Bye.
later. Bye.